at something else. Oh, let's talk about Deals Gap. Okay. Midwest Vlogger sent me a message the other day wanting to know if I was interested in setting up a Deals Gap meet, which of course we already are. He didn't know that, not his fault. There's a fucking ant inside my helmet. Looks like a flying ant too. We spoke for a few minutes and I told him about it. I told him about the meetup, and I don't think he's going to go this year, but he mentioned wanting to ride the Skyway, but not the Dragon. He said, I'm not skilled enough to ride the Dragon, but I want to check the Skyway out. And I can understand where he's coming from. If you're not familiar with those two roads, there's something that might surprise you, or something that probably will surprise you. 2 or 3 people a year die on the Dragon, on average. You know, last year I think there were only 2. The year before, maybe 1, you know. But for the most part, it's 2 or 3 people each year. That number is not terribly difficult to find because it is such a popular road. The Cherohala Skyway is not the destination that the Dragon is. It's nowhere near as famous. And therefore, people don't realize that the Skyway kills more people on average than the Dragon does. And it's because the Skyway is a bigger road, it's more open, it's got a higher speed limit, and it lulls you into this sense that all the curves are going to be these long, sweeping, beautiful curves like this one, which you could very easily take at 90 or 100 miles an hour. Well, most of them are. You know, for the most part, you can do about 80, 85 down the Skyway. You'll be okay. You might scare yourself a couple of times, but you can do it. There are a couple of turns, however, that are decreasing radius turns that you can't. And they will reach out and bite your ass. And then there's the scenery. And you end up doing what that guy's doing right now. And I don't know what he's looking at, probably clouds. But you end up looking out at the horizon and all the hills off in the area. And everything except the road. And next thing you know, you're doing 100 miles an hour into a fairly sharp corner. And you go sailing over the edge. Every year I ride up there, I see at least one wreck, generally involves a motorcycle. The last time I went up there, well, not the last time, the time before the last time I went up there, a bike had bounced off the guardrail. The last time I went up there with a big group, somebody went straight off a corner and head on into a guardrail and cartwheeled off into the nothing. It's a surprisingly dangerous road, and it's because it feels safer. On the Dragon, if you go slow, you'll be fine. The biggest issue on the Dragon really is your own ego, and you wanting to prove something to the guys you're riding with or yourself and say, oh, look, I can do this. And what you need to be doing is 25 or 30 miles an hour, you know. Most of the corners down there are blind. You can't tell how sharp they are, so just slow down, you'll be okay. And if you approach it with that attitude of, I don't care if I fall behind, they'll wait for me later, then you'll probably be just fine. And of course you want to stay off the yellow line. You know, I'm in the exact wrong position for riding the Dragon. The other thing is you need to pay attention to your mirrors out there. And one or two, I told this to everybody I know the first time they go to ride out there. And a couple of them were like, oh, fuck that, I don't care about anything that's going on behind me. Well, here's the problem. You're putting along doing 25, 30 miles an hour, and there's enough space for someone to pass you. Okay, you might not agree with that, but there is. Bikers can go right by you in the same lane you're in, and the locals do it all the time. Some of these guys are doing 50, 60, 80 miles an hour in some places, And they don't slow down much to go around your slow ass. They just right on by. Every now and then, he'll slow down, he'll ride right behind you, and whether you're paying attention or not, he's going to zip by. And if they've got a loud exhaust like mine or this 250 right here, it could startle you. And the last thing you want is to get spooked going into a corner on the fucking Dragon. That is how you end up blowing turns. So you really need to watch your mirrors, and if somebody's coming up behind you, get over and make room for them, because they're going to make room for themselves, you know. But you can do it. Anybody can ride the Dragon. You gotta be smart about it, you know. It actually takes more self-control and more self-awareness to ride the Skyway safely than it does to ride the Dragon. The single biggest threat on the Dragon actually is oncoming traffic and people who just flat out can't or will not stay in their lane. I've had 2 friends die on the Dragon in the last 4 years, and both of them was entirely because someone else was in their lane, you know. So that's the biggest issue. And to be honest, if you're putting along doing 30, 35, maybe even 40, and somebody's in your lane, you might be okay. You'll probably be okay. If it's an 18-wheeler, like what happened to Ike, you're fucked, okay? Your only option is to be able to stop. You don't avoid shit, okay? So, in that case, you might be in a little bit of trouble. But otherwise, it's actually a lot safer than you think.